And what is going on, boys and girls? I'm back again. My voice is coming back a little bit, but I'm gonna try and make some picks for this week 15 of the NFL season. It starts tonight with the Chargers visiting the Chiefs, and what is looking to be a pretty big matchup. Um, I wanted to say Chargers in this game, but Chiefs do have Eric Berry coming back. They're obviously the top team in the league right now, anyways. And Eric Berry is one of my favorite players. Hopefully, he does well tonight and gets some good playing time. The Chargers, on the other end, they don't have Melvin Gordon, and Ekeler, I think, was a little beat up last week. So, it'll be interesting to see how they do this week, going into Kansas City, which is already a tough environment and a great team. Um, my odds have the Chiefs as 3.5 point favorites. I'm going to go with the Chiefs tonight, but it would be nice to see the Chargers, to see how they do against a top team like the Chiefs. Once again, they lost to them earlier this year, but it's one of their few losses. The Chiefs and the Rams are the only ones they've lost to, and Broncos maybe, that they only have a few losses this season, so they're a great team. It's just, we'll have to see how the running back situation goes. But I think the Chiefs will be able to handle it tonight, and take care of business at home. So I'm gonna go Chiefs on that one. Then Saturday we have two games. The order is a little wrong up here on the Madden screen, but first we'll have Texans at Jets. Texans are 6.5 point favorites in this game. They'll be in New York, so it's going to be a little interesting. Actually, they're going to have two games in the Meadowlands this weekend, both from AFC South opponents. Houston visiting the Jets on Saturday, and my Tennessee Titans visiting the Giants on Sunday. So a little double duty in New York if you're in that area listening. But Texans going to Jets. I'm thinking the Texans are going to win. They're on a roll. They're easily the favorite in this game. The Jets do have a defense, so it's pretty solid, and their offense has been, decent. So they're not a team to sleep on, of course, but I think the Texans are the safe bet on that one, and I'm gonna go Texans in that one. Then we have Cleveland at Denver. Denver is the favorite by 3.5. They're at home. That's a big advantage. They'll be also playing on Saturday night at 8:20, as you see here. But Cleveland at the Broncos. I'd like to see. I think this could be a good game. Broncos, I thought, were turning it up, and they're gonna finish this season strong and maybe have a chance at a playoff. But Cleveland, Denver has been kind of sliding here recently. They've lost some games that are not really performed as well as they should have. Cleveland, on the other hand, has been performing better than expected. Baker Mayfield's been doing well. They've been getting that offense working. That defense has been good enough to win games and be in games. So I mean, the Browns could pull an upset here, but I think being at home, Denver holds the advantage, and it has them as 3.5 point favorites. So I think it could be a close game, but I'm gonna go Broncos on that one. In the Sunday action, it starts with the Packers at the Bears, and I gotta go Bears here. Packers they're in a weird spot right now. They have an interim coach. They've been underperforming all year. The Bears are really outperforming what expectations were, but their defense is legit, it seems like, and they'll be at home. This is a division rivalry, so it could be a tough one. My odds have the Bears as 5.5 point favorites, so that's usually a safe bet range when they have it that high, but I'm gonna go with Bears on this one. Defense, I think, will be the key in this one, and how well Trubisky does this week. He might need to do a little better coming back from this injury. It'd be good to see the Bears offense perform a little better because they want to make a good playoff run. They got to be good on both sides. But yeah, I'm going Bears on that one. The next we have Lions at Bills. The odds for that one is 2.5 points to the Bills, and they'll be at home. Usually that's good for them from what we've seen in recent years, really. Um, Josh Allen's kind of trying to do everything for the team, and it's good to see. I like to see the rookies do well, and they have 5 rookies starting at quarterback this week, and he's one of them. So that, I mean, it's good to see for the league moving forward. But it's hard to say Bills as a favorite in the game, but yeah, 2.5 points. I don't think that's too bad. It should be a good game. Lions have been kind of struggling here recently. I haven't really watched them that much, but from what I've seen, they've been kind of struggling these past few weeks. But they did have a good game against the Rams, I believe. But the Rams were just too much for them. So I mean, it could be an interesting one. But I'm gonna go Bills. I think home field advantage will be key for them, and their offense has been getting a little better each week. Then we have Buccaneers at Ravens, and as a Titans fan right now, Ravens losing helps. If you haven't been keeping up, the playoff 6th seed right now is up for grabs, and the Ravens have it. The Titans are tied with a few teams, but all of them have a tiebreaker over the Titans because they beat the Titans. We lost to the Ravens. We lost to the Dolphins. I think the Colts are in there too. We've lost to them. So I mean, we need to win out and some teams to lose. But the Ravens are one of those teams. But I don't think this week will be the week. They'll be at home. Buccaneers. I don't see them beating the Ravens. That defense is good in Baltimore. They'll have Joe Flacco back, which I don't really think. From what I've seen, the quarterback play has been pretty good no matter who they put behind center. Obviously, Lamar Jackson or RG3 add elements that Joe Flacco can't really add, but they're going back with Flacco, and Jackson's going to be backing him up. So it'd be interesting to see how much Jackson gets to play, because I think they've been kind of mixing and matching them. But yeah, I'm going to go Ravens on that one. Odds have them as an 8.5 point favorite, so it looks like a solid pick. Then we have Cardinals at Falcons. Falcons should probably win this one. Cardinals have been doing well here recently. But the Falcons, I think, should easily be the favorite here. They're 8.5 point favorites as well. I gotta go Falcons on this one. It'd be good to see the Cardinals. That's another rookie quarterback, and Josh Rosen, David Johnson, a good young talent. It'd be good to see them perform well against a decent Falcons team. But I'm gonna go with Falcons on that one. Then we have Raiders at Bengals. The Raiders are kind of coming on here lately. Bengals are kind of 50-50. You're not sure what you're gonna get with them. AJ Green being hurt clearly hurts them as a team, but defense has been kind of underperforming what you usually expect for them. So Raiders could pull another upset here. It has Bengals as 3.5 point favorites. I think I'm gonna go Raiders on this one. I think I want to pick an underdog, and I think the Raiders they're moving in the right direction here recently. I don't know what it is, but they have something going for them, and I'm gonna pick them over the Bengals. Bengals are kind of sliding back, and Raiders kind of moving up a little bit. So we'll see how it goes, but I think it could be an interesting game. It could be a good game. But yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders on that one. Then Titans at Giants. Of course, I'm gonna go Titans. We really need it this week. Hate to pick against my team, so I'm going Titans. Giants are 2.5 point favorites, and really, if you look at it from what have you done lately, the Giants have kind of earned that that the line there. The past few weeks, I think they've won 4 of their last five games, and the one that they lost, they were in it until the end, and I just lost the schedule. Sorry about that. But yeah, and the Titans, on the other hand, have been doing well. They took care of the Jaguars, which Not really the Jaguars we thought we were going to get this year, but you got to take care of them. You got to finish off games and win well. Would like to see more Derrick Henry this week. I think that's going to be key, is using Henry into their play and game plan, and mixing it up a little bit, which they've been kind of doing all year. But more Derrick Henry, I think, would be better. And also, they need to learn. They need to stop Saquon Barkley. If they can hold Saquon Barkley even remotely close to how they did against Leonard Fournette, which I know is a completely different team, completely different talent players, but you can hold Saquon Barkley to under 70 yards rushing, I think you're pretty good. And the Titans defense has shown they can handle good running backs. They played against Ezekiel Elliott this year, took that win. Leonard Fournette is a great running back, and he had an extra week rest to come in, but they took care of him. So 2.5 points. It should be a close one by that line, but I gotta say Titans on this one, and it would be a big win because the Giants are on a roll right now, and the Titans really need to win every game. If other teams lose, that's great, helps them out. But if you win out, your odds are better. They'll be tied with the Colts if at the last week if the Colts win 2 in a row. So you got to win every game you can. And the Giants this week, Redskins next week, and then the Colts. Those are winnable games, and if you want to be in the playoffs, you have to win those games. So I'm gonna go Titans this week. I think they can get it done, and I do think it'll be a close one. Should be a better game than against Jacksonville, I think, as far as margin of victory, I think. But yeah, I would like to see a good game this week out of the Titans. Then we have Dolphins at Vikings, and that's another game that the Titans should be watching, or fans at least. As a Titans fan, I want the Vikings to win this one because the Dolphins are another one in that tiebreaker for that 6th seed. If Dolphins go on and lose, that really helps us out because Dolphins beat the Titans, and if they're tied, they would hold the tiebreaker over the Titans as well. But all that being said, the Dolphins, great win last week against the Patriots. Awesome finish. But history shows that the Dolphins have been taking care of the Patriots at home in December. It's a great win, but that's just what history says. They've kind of had their number. The Vikings are a completely different team. They'll have to go to Minnesota to play them, and that is probably why Minnesota's 8.5 point favorites over the Dolphins. The Vikings right now are a playoff team, barely, so they need to win this one if they want to stay in it. So I think the Vikings have more that they know they can lose. So I think I got to go Vikings on this. I think they'll come out strong at home against the Dolphins. You have Redskins at Jaguars. Redskins could really use this if they want any shot really at the playoffs. They're just rolling down this cliff, snowballing into obscurity. Injuries have really hurt them. It's not really, the coach's fault. It's not really the players' fault. Injuries happen, and they've just happened like crazy to these Redskins. Two quarterbacks now with broken legs or fractured, whatever, they can't play. And they're down to Mark Sanchez, and then now I believe Josh Johnson will be playing for them or starting on Sunday against the Jaguars. The Jaguars just benched their starter for Kessler, who's been decent. He's had 1 touchdown this year, and I was there to see that in person. Will still tell you that was not a touchdown. His second foot went out, but that's beside the points in the past. But the Redskins going down to Jacksonville is an interesting game because both of these teams are really struggling right now. The odds have it Jacksonville by 6.5. I don't know. I guess home field advantage, but the Redskins defense is still decent. I think they did get blown out last week or the week before, but terrible offense was killing them. If they can get at least some kind of offensive game against Jacksonville, that would be great. I'm going to pick Jaguars here because I just don't think the offense is there. I'm not sure what Josh Johnson's going to bring. I hope he does great just for the Redskins' sake. I'm not a Redskins fan at all, but it really they got a raw deal with the injuries this year. Um, but I am going to pick the Jaguars in this one at home. Then we have Cowboys at Colts. This is another one. Titans fans should be rooting for the Cowboys in this one because every loss to the Colts is good. It helps us. I also like the Cowboys, so of course I'm gonna root for the Cowboys anyway. It's easier. I grew up a Cowboys fan. But Dallas, fandom aside, Dallas offense has been great. They've been giving the ball to Ezekiel Elliott. Amari Cooper has really been MVP for them since they got him. They're 5-1 since they've gotten Amari Cooper, and the one was against the Titans, and that was Amari Cooper's first game. So I mean, they've been on a roll, and the Colts they were on a roll for a little bit. They've got a good team, but the Cowboys' defense has been top notch. And it would be I'm interested to see how they do against Andrew Luck. Against that offense, they don't have as many pieces as I think they would like to have quite yet. But I'd say maybe next year or the next year, the Colts should have no excuses. They should be a great team. It'll just be how well the rest of the division is and stuff like that. But they should have a good team next year, or maybe they have it now. We're just not quite seeing it yet. But I do think the Cowboys will win this game because their defense is pretty good. It's one of the top defenses in the league, and their offense, like I said, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott. Dak Prescott could be a little bit better, but he's got a good enough crew around him that I think he can get it done. The odds have the Colts as 2.5-point favorites. They are at home. They have been pretty good here recently, but I'm gonna go Cowboys on this. It is on the road for the Cowboys, and they're much better at home. So this is another one that's a big one for the Cowboys if they want to make a playoff run, which they should make the playoffs. It's looking like the division it should be locked up, but they need to beat the Colts just as like a test for the playoffs, I think. So and on the road. So I'm gonna go Cowboys on that one. Then 4 o'clock we have Seahawks at 49ers. I'm going to go Seahawks on this one. I've liked some of what I've seen with the 49ers this year. Seahawks have been kind of rolling here lately, kind of quietly, just rolling into these playoffs. They're a wild card right now because the Rams just ran away with that division. But they're a solid wild card right now because I mean they could lose and they're not locked in, but they got the Vikings right behind them. But like a game and a half, maybe half a game, and then the Panthers, and then there's a mixture of teams in there that the Eagles I think are still right there with the Panthers, and but it's looking like Seahawks should be in the playoffs, and this is a good boost. They should get a pretty easy win in this one. San Francisco's been decent, but I think Seattle's gonna take the win in that one. They are 4.5-point favorites, so it's looking like a safe bet there for the Seahawks. And then we have Patriots at Steelers. Beginning of the year, this was possible AFC Championship matchup, and looking like a great one. Here lately, Patriots are coming off a loss against the Dolphins, which like I mentioned earlier, is typical past couple years in December in Miami. But Steelers, I believe Connor's still going to be out. The whole Le'Veon Bell controversy this year, is really, I don't know how much that affected Pittsburgh, but not having Le'Veon Bell kind of affects, even though James Conner did a great job to come in. I believe it affected them a little bit. They've been kind of sliding here recently. They'll be at home, being against the Patriots. They should be loud, have a lot of fans. And also they're trying to stay in the playoffs. I mentioned the wild card with the Titans, Dolphins, Colts, Ravens, that whole group of teams there. I think there might be another one in there too. But the Steelers are also kind of in it because they're only a game or half a game ahead of the Ravens for the division. So they could lose the division and lose on the wild card. could be interesting. There's a lot they're playing for this week. If they can win against the Patriots, that would be huge for morale and for playoffs standings. Um, that all being said, I think the Patriots are the easy favorite. 2.5 point favorites. I think they'll bounce back from the Miami loss. They're kind of used to a division rivalry. The two teams know each other really well in that one, and they're looking to bounce back and get Pittsburgh while they're kind of wounded here in the latter part of the season. So I'm going to go Patriots on that one. Then Sunday Night Football, Eagles and Rams. This is another one that was looking like NFC Championship matchup maybe at the beginning of the year. Not so much here lately. Nick Foles, I believe, will be the Eagles starter. Carson Wentz, they said, has a fracture in his back, which may explain why he's been kind of off here lately. Like, he's not been performing as well as he should be. But last year Nick Foles took this team over, and they ended up winning a Super Bowl. So Eagles fans are a little pumped for that. They have to get a few wins to make the playoffs this year. The Rams are not going to be an easy one for them, and they'll have to travel to LA for Sunday night. LA is 9.5 point favorites. I'm going to stick with the odds there. We'll say the Rams beat the Eagles and probably end their hopes of a playoff run this year or making the playoffs this year. So it's tough. They had a good year last year, a good run. But this year they'll just have to kind of learn and build on draft picks and get back next year to get back in the playoffs. Then Monday Night Football, Saints at Carolina. Good division rivalry. Panthers, I believe Cam Newton may be hurt. He's been having shoulder problems past few weeks I've been seeing. And I do have one thing I want to say for the Panthers. They need to give Christian McCaffrey the ball as much as possible. I'm not even really a Panthers fan, but it just kills me that every time he touches the ball, it's a great play. Why not give it to him as much as you can? And that also would help out Cam Newton with his shoulder injury. And if you want to make the playoffs, you're going to need him in the playoffs. So I mean, I don't know. Use what you got. Christian McCaffrey, heck of a player, heck of a talent, one of the top running backs in the league. And they just don't use him enough, in my opinion. Saints, on the other hand, they have Kamara, Ingram. They use their running backs. They have a great quarterback. They have a great offense. They have Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Drew Brees, Mark Ingram, tight end. I mean, just everything you need. Defense hasn't been there, but it's been getting better. Their offense has been a little slow past few weeks, but they've been playing against good defenses. They played against the Cowboys, one of the best defenses. They lost. They lost 13-10, and it was a tough game. But then Tampa Bay did give them a tough time to start with, but they came out, they came back, and they won 28-14. The Panthers defense should be better than what it is. I think that's really the two stories that I've noticed with the Panthers is the lack of usage with McCaffrey and also the defense. I mean, because that defense should be better than what they've been doing. But if they can do anything against the Saints, that would be great for them this week. But I got to go Saints on this one. They're 6.5 point favorites, and they're a really good team this year, and really one of the top. They're a division winner right now, so they're easily the top four team. In certain aspects, they're better than others, of course. I think they may have the best offense in the league in the NFC. So I think that'll be too much for the Panthers to handle. And really, the Panthers still have a chance of making the playoffs, but it's kind of grim. It's kind of looking. I think a lot of Panthers fans are looking forward to next year, seeing what draft picks they can get, seeing what a healthy team will look like. That defense, get them built back up. Greg Olsen, get them back healthy, and see how they do next year. But there still is a chance they could make a wild card. They're not really far out, and just have to do better than the Vikings and Seahawks, and that's a possibility. But And also, today I found out is the last day for Pro Bowl voting. So if you haven't done that yet, hopefully you've seen this video before the clock strikes 12 tonight on December 13th. But there's a lot of good players this year. You get a lot of votes in the Pro Bowl. I think you get like 6 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 receivers. But I expect to see. I'll just give you a few that I expect to see. I'll say Patrick Mahomes is in. Drew Brees should be in. I'm gonna just do 2 of each position. I'm gonna say the 2 running backs I'd have to see would be probably go Gurley and Zeke. I think they're the 2 best running backs. Wide receivers, I'll go Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas. I think I'd like to see those 2. Defense, there's Eddie Jackson should be in there. Corner or safety from the Bears. Some linebackers, Van Der Esch should be in there. Heck of a rookie year. Khalil Mack will definitely be in there. J.J. Watt should be in there. But yeah, if you haven't voted yet, go vote. And if you feel like it, put in the comments who you voted for, who you'd like to see in the Pro Bowl, and also what you think of the channel, what you think of my picks. Anytime, leave a comment, and we'll comment back. But that'll wrap up this week. Look forward to seeing all these games. The season is winding down. We just have 2 weeks after this week, and then it'll be playoffs. So looking forward to all that, and I will get back to you with the picks next week, and I will see you then.